After you've set up your workspace, you'll be directed to the Workspace Settings page, and this is the main page of the Workspace Settings. The first thing I'm going to have you quickly know is make sure your workspace is named properly. You have selected the platforms that you would like. This is easily done by unselecting them or selecting them. Also make sure that you have a domain here, whatever that may be, and then make sure you have your pillar content selected, which is the main platform that you are sharing content to. The other ones are probably supplement to this one. So in my case, I'm going to say YouTube, and then you're going to select what users you want to be able to access this workspace. Now we're going to hurry and go into our scheduling targets. Scheduling targets will allow the system to automatically set a due date for your campaigns when you move an idea into a campaign. So you don't have to remember when to share something. So to set your scheduling targets, you are going to come into your pillar content idea and you will specify how many times you want it shared in a day, week, or month. Then I can select what day I'm going to schedule that on, and then you can select the time. After that, you'll go to your other platforms. Now, when you select these, it'll say immediately, or you can select a number. Immediately means that it will be scheduled the same time as your pillar content. If you select a number, you can specify how many days after your pillar content you want it set to. So I'm going to say I want it set to the next day, so it would be scheduled for Tuesday instead of Monday. And then I will select the time. You can do this with all of them. Then once you get to your social, you're going to specify how many posts you want to schedule. So let's say I want 2. And I'm going to space them out every 2 days. And I'm going to shoot for 10:30. Same with Pinterest as with social. And after that, you're ready to move on to the next workspace setting. You can get there by hitting the X button to close this or go back to the workspace area. Next, we're going to talk about campaign statuses. This is the default status template that will come into your workspace. So you can rename this workspace if you would like, and you can also select what platforms you would like used on this. I am going to specify these 3. Then I can create a new one for anything else that I would like to use. I will note that you can only select one platform one time. If I try to select blog post again, I can't because it's already in a template. Now from here, you can add statuses to these status templates. This is done by hitting the edit button. You can tell which one you are on by the highlighted area. So we can move between these two. Edit any of the statuses, you would select the edit button here. From here, you can rename it, and you can change the color, and you can select who is assigned to. You can also add new statuses the same way. You can also delete any of the statuses. The only one that you're not allowed to change is your closed status. After you have specified all of your statuses, you can move on to the next section of your workspace settings. I'm going to quickly note here that these statuses will be also used in conjunction with tasks. So let's say that you want to make sure you complete every step of a process. Those can go in your tasks area. Maybe this is the overarching status where your project is. So to go to tasks, we're going to close out of this area and select the task area. You will have the option to set tasks in these platforms. So let's say I want to add a task with blog post about adding keyword to title. And maybe I want another one. And you can keep going with your list. You can also move these around to organize them. Anytime that you see this little icon, that means that you can move anything around. So here are those tasks that we set in the blog post area, just so you can see what you're actually setting up here. After you've set your tasks, we're going to move into the templates area. From here, you can go to your character limits. This is where you specify the amount of characters for each platform. Default is this column. Ideal from the actual platforms recommended is here, so you can specify what you would like to do. This will come into play when you're in the campaigns area, and you can see it count down your character limit that you have left. Let's move back to the templates area. We're going to move into content links. Content links allow you to add links to other areas so that you don't lose anything. Your main campaign sidebar already has your blog post URL in there, but you can add other ones. So something that I like to do is maybe my YouTube video, and that way when I get the URL for my YouTube video, I can quickly reference it across the whole campaign. And that way it's easy to find if I want to share it on a blog post, if I want to share it on my social, or maybe Pinterest. You can do this in all of these areas. So for example, one that I like to do is a media folder, or maybe I have for blog posts, I have a Google Doc that has my blog post written out. So this is just a way for you to reference that later. And let me show you what that looks like. So here are those content links that we're talking about. Here's the sidebar, and here is the other ones inside the blog post. Now this sidebar one, if I add the slug that would be used for WordPress, for example, adds it here where I can copy this and paste it somewhere to use it later. Once you've set up all your content links, let's go back to the templates area to set up our recycled content. Recycled content allows your closed content to come back into your active campaigns. I like to use it for Pinterest to state that I would like to be able to add another pin after 6 months. And then you can select what status you want it to have. So it's a great idea to go back into your statuses. From here, I like to add one that's called recycle. And then when you come back into your recycled content, and just so you know, if something doesn't load, make sure you just refresh the page and it will refresh and give you what you're looking for. And so that's what you do with recycled content. It will give you a recycled notification on your campaign. Now that we've gone through all of our templates, let's move on to social. Inside of campaigns in the social area, you can set your hook, your copy, your call to action, and links. But to save you time, you can specify these to multiple platforms. So you would specify here, if you're setting your hook, where do you want to use the hook at? Maybe you only want it to be on Facebook and Instagram, but none of the other ones. Maybe your content copy, you just want it on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. Once you have selected where you want all these to be, you are going to add a content type. This would be a static image, for example, and maybe I just want that to be on Instagram and Facebook, or maybe I want to do a short clip, and that's going to be YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. After you've set up this area of your social, we're going to move into the hooks area of your social. By default, you have ones already set in here that you can edit if you want. Select it and add in some content, or you can also delete anything that you do not want. You can also edit, these are called groups, so you can edit the group's name. You can also add a new group to the area. And then from here, you can add any hook, and you would select the group and create the hook. Now when I drop down that, it's in this area. You can also rearrange your hooks in any order. Once you have your hooks kind of looked at, you can come back and edit this later. You can go to the call to action area. And by default, these are all added in for you. You can delete them, or you can add any new. You can also edit them. Next, we're going to go to hashtags. Hashtags will be blank because this is specific to your business. So what you're going to do first is come up here and create a new group. And this hashtag group could be anything that specifies something inside your business. So if I'm in the DIY space, that might be kitchen, that might be DIY crafts, that might be home improvement, and the list goes on and on. Once you have that set, you are going to add in your hashtag, and you need to make sure that you put in that hashtag character. Once you have the hashtag character in, you are then going to put in your hashtag. Then you're going to select the group and you're going to create the hashtag. This will display in this new group. And again, just same as hooks, you can add as many as you want and you can rearrange them. After that, you should probably look at the settings tab over here. You can specify how many hashtags you want to be pulled into a social post. Next, let's go into categories. Some people like to put their social items into categories. So on Mondays, I like to share this. On Tuesdays, I like to share this. That's where this category would go. And you can even write a description to remind you what it's about. After categories, we're going to go into Pinterest. Inside Pinterest, you can add in your Pinterest boards that match up with your Pinterest account. And it's super easy. You just add the board name and create a board. And that's how easy it is to set up your workspace settings. From here, you'll click the back button to go to your main dashboard where you can start creating your content.